Beautiful people, this is Jose Trujillo, the world's greatest living artist. Hope everybody's doing good. Real good. What's up? I've been busy, baby. Working with some really cool stuff, doing some cool things. What's happening? Just doing my thing, my thing. It's been a good day so far. It's been a great month. It's been a great month of a great moment for me. I was gonna say a great year, but not necessarily for everybody. So I can't really stretch it that long. I can't stretch it that much. What I want to talk about though is I am having I'm making an announcement on this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. Arizona time. I'm introducing you to my friend Maria. She is a life coach, and I can't wait. What's happening, Jay? What's up? How's it going, Laura? My friend Maria, she's a life coach, and I want to be able to bring her in, introduce her to you. Yeah. And yeah, I think she's going to be of great help. She's more of a guide. She's a life coach, but I think she sees what she does more as a guide, which I think is really cool. I think it's a really deep thing, and so yeah, I can't wait to introduce her to you guys and have her maybe share a little bit about what she does and hopefully share some tips, give you some tools to serve you on your artistic journey. I think the artistic journey is a very interesting thing. Everybody has something different going on. Some people have families they need to take care of. Some people are doing it by themselves. Some people are doing it with partners, with employees, and on and on. And so there's different dynamics. And I think regardless of what it is, it's important to recognize that everyone has a different path, a different way of doing it. I often talk about the way I do it because that's the only way I know. But in no way do I intend to get people to do it my way. Of course not. Everybody needs to figure that out on their own. But if something that I share helps someone, either helps them to think about it from a point of, man, this is what to do or this is what not to do. You know, in whatever way it helps, I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. And so yeah, I'm gonna be reaching out to people that I've become friends with, people that I believe that are able to help artists as well, not just me. And I'm going to start introducing them to our friends here, to you guys. And yeah, so that's that when it comes to this announcement. The other announcement that I have also is that I'm ramping up workshops. I've been working on that very hard for the past 30 days, and so I'm ramping up the workshops. We're going to be doing some really cool workshops. It's been a slow but steady growth and work on the monthly membership, but I'm ready to ramp it up. And so I told you guys, I think about a week ago, about a week ago, yeah, that I'm going to be ramping up video workshops for the people that are signed up to my monthly subscription. We're going to be talking about some deep stuff and step-by-step things that go beyond the usual things. I mean, I'm gonna go into hiring people. How do you grow this thing? How do you actually start making this thing work? Because a lot of people out there, I've noticed that people are in different spaces. People are in different areas in their career, and so I'm not an artist for the beginner. You know, I'm not an artist for the intermediate, and I'm not an artist for the professional who's making a full-time living. I think I'm an artist for all of them right now. I think I'm an artist that is trying to give out information and content for these three tiers, these three groups: the person that's learning how to paint, the person that is trying to get some traction, and the person that already has traction that wants to be able to grow and possibly even scale, which is one of the hardest things to do in any business, to be able to scale significantly at large. And scaling works in so many different ways. So anyways, I got all this material that I've been putting together, and I'm going to be dropping more than 2 videos a month. And yeah, it's going to be cool. I think so. I think it's going to be pretty cool. There's so much that I want to do, and it's just going to take time. It's going to take some energy. It's going to take time. Like I said before, I'm going to ramp this thing up in different areas in my business. One of the things that I'm going after right now, one of the goals, is 7 figures on eBay alone, and that's a juicy goal. It's a juicy goal, and once I do this, it's not going to take me that long to do it. I know that. Once I do this, I'm going to be able to help people that are already earning some income on places like eBay and that type of deal. The biggest thing that I think people have a hard time with, the biggest thing is discipline. That's really the biggest thing of all. Most people don't stick with something because of discipline. It's not really that they don't know or that, oh man, the information's not good. That's not true. The biggest thing is discipline. I knew that to be true when I started selling my stuff on eBay, my work on eBay. I had no discipline. I have very little discipline. The moment that I applied myself, the very first year I started making over 100K, and then I doubled that, and then I doubled that again, and then I kind of just left it alone and didn't come back to it, and I was just like, and what I mean didn't come back to it, I mean that I kept working in it, but not on it. There's 2 ways to work on something. You either working in it or you're working on it. And so I just kept working in it, not necessarily on it. And recently I was like, oh my God, I can take this to 7 figures. I know I can. It's not going to be easy, but I know I can. I'm pretty close to 7 figures on eBay. So I know I can take this. And so that's one of my goals. Another one of my goals that I'm working on right now is opening up more revenue avenues, more avenues of revenue. I know that the average millionaire has at least seven income streams. I know that not for everybody, but for most people is true. I know that when I started hitting bigger numbers in my career, it's because I started having different revenues. And so one of my goals right now is to have 3,000 different avenues. And I know it sounds ridiculous, right? But it's one of my goals: have 3,000 different avenues, and things like that, right? Things like that I've opened up with you guys in the past, and I've told you this This is some of the stuff that I've been working on. This is some of the stuff that I'm doing. And you don't get to those things by chance. You know, any of that stuff, you don't get to it by chance. You don't get to it by starting something and then turning it off and then starting it back again. That's not how you get to it. You get to any of the things. I think everybody knows this, but we tend to forget this. You get to it by starting it, hitting on the gas, and never taking your foot off the gas. Whether it's slow or fast, it doesn't matter if you're going slow or fast. You just don't take your foot off the gas. As long as you don't take your foot off the gas, you're fine. I don't care if you're driving 25 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour. You're going to get there as long as you don't take the foot off the gas. It doesn't matter. You know, 25, 60, 90 miles an hour, it doesn't matter. What? 25 miles an hour compared to 90 miles an hour, it might take you 4 times as much, right? That's more time. Instead of getting there in one day, it might take you 4 days. It doesn't matter. You're still getting there. Instead of 1 year, it might take you 4 years. It doesn't matter. You're still getting there. It's keeping your foot on the gas. And this is one of the things that most people are not able to grasp. I don't really know why. My experience has been that we overthink everything. People like to overthink stuff. We like to overanalyze. Just about anyone that I've talked to that's having a difficulty growing or scaling in their business or they're self-employed as artists, just about anyone that I've talked to has this problem. And just about everyone that I've talked to about this not only has this problem, but knows everything about everything when it comes to marketing, sales, discipline. They know everything about it. And in other words, they're very well versed in it. They read about it, they watch the videos, and they're versed in it, but they're not doing it. They're not really doing it. They consume a lot of information. They're consumers. And one of the things that I'm trying to help artists with is stop fucking consuming things and do it. You know, just quit consuming things. Like, stop it. You know, stop going and watching a new YouTube video. Stop going and reading a new article. Like, leave that for the amateurs. Leave that for the people that are figuring. They don't really know that they don't know what to do. They're not there yet. If you're having a hard time with your career in any way, shape, or form, whether you're trying to create artwork, you're trying to exhibit it, or you're trying to get paid for it, the only thing I can tell you is just fucking do it. Do it. Like, don't read another article, don't watch another video, just do it. And doing it is such a difficult concept for the mind to grasp, because it's scary. Doing it is scary. The mind doesn't like doing stuff. The mind likes breaking things down and figuring it out. And oh, I heard that if you do this, you can sell a little bit more on Etsy. Oh my God, let me read about it. Let me find that. It's bullshit. That's not how it works. I heard that if you do this thing in your podcast, and if you say these words or you put these hashtags, it's going to be better. And we consume and consume and consume, and it never moves the needle forward. It just has you dancing. It has you dancing back and forth. The needle never moves forward because you're not putting pressure on it. My experience as an artist has been, the less I know about something and the more I do, the better results I have. By far. The less I know about something, oh, I'm gonna do this. Okay, I don't want to know anything about it. Like, I don't want to know anything about it. I only want to know one thing. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I get my work in there? That's all I want to know. I found out a new place to sell my artwork. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's say that you found, I don't know, Cherish or Saatchi Art or whatever. Don't go and study the fucking place. Just figure out if you can get your artwork in there. Can you get it in there? Is there all these hoops, all these ridiculous hoops that you have to have a perfect CV and all that bullshit? How much do you have to pay? Nothing. Do you pay a monthly fee? Do you pay, like the storefronts? They charge, I think, a couple of $1,000, somewhere around there. Over $1,000, I know that. Those art storefronts. Do you have $1,000? Yes. Is that really all the hoops? Yes. Okay, then do it. You don't have $1,000, okay? Then don't do it right now, or borrow the money, or whatever. Move on to the next thing. What's the hoop to get into Etsy? Oh, I gotta go read about it. Don't read about Etsy. If I like 10 people a day, if I like 10 shops a day, I have a better chance. No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop fucking reading about things. Just do it. Just open an Etsy account and put your shit in there, and put some more in there every day. Every time you create something, drop it on Etsy. You created a new painting, drop it on Etsy. You did a new watercolor, drop it on Etsy. And do that. And don't stop. Don't take your foot off the gas. That's all. But we human beings, we like to complicate shit. And I think that part of the reason why we like to complicate things is because we don't like to do things. Nobody does. I mean, who does? There's days that I just want to be home. I don't want to be creating art and listing and taking photographs. And no, of course not. There's days that I want to kick it. I don't want to do it. But I know this. If I stop, I lose momentum. And if I lose momentum, it's the worst. Losing momentum is the worst thing that can happen to especially to an artist. Because you lose certainty. And it makes you feel like you have to start from the bottom all over again. It makes like you have to like hype yourself up again. I mean, I've done that dozens of times, probably more than dozens. Like I have to hype myself up again and be like, okay, I got this. Okay, I can do this. All right, and then it's excruciating because you have to build momentum all over again. You don't even like painting because you don't. It's a bunch of bullshit. It feels horrible. Those of you who have done this, you know what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, man. I've been talking about some crazy stuff today. What's up, Bebek? What's up, Ning? Chanel says, work, move. It's the only way. It's the only way. Too many people read too much. They watch too many videos. They try to figure. It ain't like that. The videos that I try to show people, the stuff that I try to share with people, is go do it. And I know this is one of the reasons I lose half of my audience all the time. Like, people listen to me and they're like, dude, here comes Jose with his bullshit of just do it. I promise you, it doesn't work any other way. It doesn't. I don't care that you go read 1,000 books on art strategy or marketing strategy or some bullshit that someone came up with. If you don't do it, it ain't gonna work. The biggest problem everyone's facing is discipline. Everyone's facing that problem in one way or another. Some people have a lot of discipline for one thing and completely lack discipline somewhere else. Like me showing up to a gym, I have no discipline whatsoever. Me showing up to a gym, I have no discipline. But me showing up to paint, to create artwork, I am fucking Mr. Olympia. I'm Mr. Universe. Yeah. And so I have discipline in some areas and I don't have discipline in other areas of my life. And this is the way human beings are. Sometimes we're very disciplined in some areas and completely neglect other areas of our lives. But I've learned to understand this. If your career as an artist is important to you, if it's really important to you, if it's where you're planning on spending the rest of your life, or you're planning on getting paid, you need to build some discipline in that place, and it needs to be strong. It can't be, well, I show up whenever I feel like it, or another thing that happens is if you start getting getting paid, or you start selling stuff, you start feeling like you're high on a cloud. And everybody does this. I have not met someone who doesn't do this yet. From the people that I coach, the artists, the professional artists that I've talked to, everybody does this. They start getting some sales and they're like, oh, I'm good. God forbid they start making 6 figures or more because they're like, oh, I'm good. And if they're good, that's fine. The problem is, here's the problem. That very soon you start finding out that you're good, right? But the problems don't change. The problems don't stop. If you make more income, you obviously pay more taxes. If you make more income, you obviously are spending more on materials and possibly hiring people or services or, on and on and on. The problem doesn't stop. The problem also magnifies. The problem magnifies. I talked about this before. Some people are like, oh my God, the thing is that art supplies are so expensive. I'm like, yeah, they are. I know. I spend about easily at least $3,000 every month on art supplies. I know they're expensive. They're very expensive. Everything is expensive. But when you start creating income, it magnifies. It starts magnifying. It's no longer, I spend $500 a month or $200 every now and then. It becomes $3,000-$5,000 a month on art supplies or shipping. Anything. It starts magnifying. Of course, naturally, right? Naturally. And so this is something that I've noticed when people start. This happened to me. I started generating 100K plus a year selling artwork, and I was like, oh, this is good. I'm good. And then I realized, oh shit. Wait a minute. Maybe it's not what I'm thinking, because you start looking at everything that's happening. Another thing on places like Etsy, people open a shop and they're like, oh, I'm good. Look, it took me 5 shops to generate 100K. 5 shops. Okay? 5 shops. On each one, I rounded about 25K a year. It took me 5 shops to earn 100K. 5 online shops. Etsy, Cherish, those types of shops. 5 different places. And so sometimes it's not just one place. Sometimes you're going to have to jump to another store and you're going to have to try different things. And you're going to have to jump to another store and try different things. But keep them happening, right? Keep them happening. That takes discipline. Because usually some of the stuff that we do is that we open an Etsy shop and we have an eBay shop and we neglect one or the other because our focus goes into the new one. This is something that I learned very quick. I was like, oh, fuck. So what I did is that I hired someone to help me. But guess what? Now I have to pay someone every month. Not every month, but, like I have this monthly thing that I have to pay, right? I have to pay this person now. And where am I going to get the money for that? Where is the money going to come from that? To pay my assistant to take care of my shops. And so the problem still, there are challenges. They continue to magnify. And so if you don't build a discipline where you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to stop this thing, it starts crumbling because your attention is limited. Your attention keeps moving from place to place. Someone tells you, you should be doing a podcast. I promise you start doing a podcast, your attention is going to go to the podcast, and all of a sudden your Etsy shop is going to start going like this. It's natural. It happens to everybody. And so that's why people don't do it. They're like, oh, no. They drop the podcast and then they go back to their Etsy shop and they continue to put artwork in their Etsy shop, to list artwork. And they're afraid. And they feel like they can't go anywhere because if they go somewhere, remember, where attention goes, energy flows. So if your attention goes somewhere, that's where your energy goes. And so if your energy is going there, other areas are going to suffer. This was a very difficult lesson for me to learn. This is the kind of shit that your YouTuber artist is not going to share with you. This is the kind of shit that a pro artist, that someone that shows up all the time, knows about. And so you're not going to go and read on an article or some YouTube artist is going to tell you, yeah, this is the kind of shit that people won't talk about. 1, because they don't know, and 2, they don't want to share. The people that do know, they don't want to share. They're not in the business of sharing. One of the reasons I share is because I teach. And so I have no problem sharing. If I wasn't teaching, it'd be different. I'd be like, whatever. But I share because I teach. I think it's important. It's important. If I'm going to be teaching, might as well start sharing some valuable stuff. So there it is, my friends. Here, let me see. I'm supposed to read something here. Elle says, but like you said, you have to practice the right stuff, and getting right stuff takes a long time. Yeah, but don't think so much about right stuff. Just put in the practice. It doesn't matter. I just look. I don't even fully buy into the whole because who's to say what right is? You know, I just wrote an article last night for I posted it on LinkedIn. Practice makes perfect. Not perfect practice makes perfect. I know a lot of people think about this. They're like, oh, well, the 10,000 hours say that in order for the practice to be perfect, it's got to actually be the right practice. Again, right? Complication. We complicate things. No, just practice. Practice good, practice bad. I don't care. Just practice. Because that eventually is going to start forging into the right thing, whatever the right thing is for you. And so here's another thing that I say also for artists. It doesn't matter what you're painting, paint something. It doesn't matter what you're painting. It doesn't matter, like, what should I paint today? I don't have any fresh ideas. You don't have fresh ideas because you don't paint enough. Paint every day and watch. It's not going to happen overnight. It'll take days. It might take 30, it might take 60 days. It won't take more than 60 days, I promise you that. For most of you, it might be about 30 days before you start getting into some... Because people say, oh, if you start drawing, all of a sudden you get in the flow. That's not true. It doesn't happen like that for everybody. That's not true. It's not like... It doesn't happen like that unless you do it every day. Unless you're doing it every day, then when you pick up your pencil or your brush, you start getting in the flow. Because you have many days of trajectory that are pushing. And so by the 20th or the 30th or the 40th day that you've been doing it every day, you have 30 days behind you reaffirming that flow. They're pushing and creating flow. That's how you start getting those fresh ideas. Most people don't know this. This is an advantage of mine. People ask me all the time, where do you come up with the ideas? Dude, I just don't stop. You know? I'm willing to die on the fucking treadmill. I'm just not stopping. I'm willing to. This is one of the reasons why artists are like, man, like, you know, what do you think will take to catch up to the stuff that you're doing? I have some artist friends telling me that. I'm like, I don't know, dude, but I'll tell you this. I got 10 fucking years ahead of you, just doing it every day. 10 years of pounding it every day. That's not very easy to duplicate. That's very, very difficult. Because it requires a lot of discipline. You have to have a lot of love for what you do. When I'm sick, when I'm fucking coughing and I'm like pre-Rona, and I was sick, I showed up. Still showed up. Had a fucking cold. Fucking cold. Oh my God. 5 a.m. with a heater, and I'm sneezing and I have a cold. I still showed up. And people don't get it around me. They're like, dude, why do you do that? Why do you do that to yourself? I'm not doing it to myself. I'm doing it for myself, not to myself. I'm doing this shit for myself because it builds a character. It builds a resistance that when people are like, well, I'm going to call it a night. I don't. I keep painting. I keep creating new stuff. I keep doing other stuff, creating works on paper, creating workshops, writing articles. You know, it just keeps moving. Because I'm already in movement. So it perpetuates the movement. So anyways, I'll leave you with that, my friends. I gotta go take care of some stuff here. My name is Jose Trujillo. Trujillo, Trujillo. I am the world's greatest living artist. And I hope that this message was any good. I hope so. Alright? If you get anything out of this, is just fucking do it. Just do it. Quit coming up with excuses. All right? Peace out.